Hi everyone, it's Tolu Foye, and on today's Kugali Spotlight, we'll be interviewing the creators of Lake of Tears. Now, Lake of Tears is one of the latest additions to the Kugali Anthology, and before I say any more, let me let you guys introduce yourselves, and then we'll talk about Lake of Tears. So, who wants to go first?
I think Kobe should go first.
Put me on the spot, why don't you? Hi, my name is Kwabena Ofei. Creative. I say the word creative because there's a lot of things that I tend to do that I can't list all out now. But yes, anything that involves creating, I'm a part of, and yeah, that's basically it. I'm on a need to know basis, so whatever you need to know, just ask me, and if you have to know, I'll let you know.
You just cast a really wide net. So,
I
what
did.
else
I
is
really did.
creative? Architecture, music.
You'll be amazed. I have done architectural plans. My father, see, I think I get that all from my father. My father is very creative. So anything that takes his fancy, let's say I'm blessed with the ability to try my hands at new things, and not often do I fail at it.
Right.
which
Yes.
is a which is a superpower anybody would kill for, really, isn't it?
You know the superpower I'm looking for? Consistency. That's the
So,
superpower.
and you're the writer of Lake of Tears. Hello?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. So, Setor, introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Setor Fiadzigbey. I'm the artist of Lake of Tears. I've been drawing my whole life, really. Ever since I was a child, I found a pencil and that was it. I started drawing, and I kind of never put it down. I just switched it up for a Wacom stylus. And yeah, that's really all I think there is to know about me in regards to this. So yeah, but I mean, my interests are fantasy, sci-fi. I like sci-fi actually a lot, um, and a bit of history. I like those themes. I like those subject matters. Yeah,
Okay. So, you're both from Ghana, right?
that's right.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, Lake of Tears is a Ghanaian story at heart. And what is Lake of Tears? I think the writer should go first. Like, what someone has never heard about it, you're telling them about it for the first time, and you have 30 seconds. What do you say?
Uh, First off, why are you asking me in 30 seconds, person? And second, Lake of Tears is really just a story born from a real situation in the country. Lake of Tears is just supposed to draw attention to a real issue about slave children in a place in this year Ghana called Yeji. And Lake of Tears is just basically also to bring awareness to that issue, but in a very fantastical, easy to view way that people can sort of relate to and at least identify with some of the characters because the characters are diverse by themselves. So I would say, in a nutshell, that's what Lake of Tears really is. The tale of finding yourself, retribution, and just good old clean fun.
So, when you say the characters are diverse in themselves, what do you mean?
Uh, for example, when you see the protagonist, Aya, is it okay to actually start getting into details of the story?
Yeah, I mean, it's your story. Spoil as much of it as you want to.
Aya, for example, Aya was someone who, if you look at the way the story is, he was very meek. He was very happy-go-lucky, if you will. Like, he wasn't the sort of person who is going to be out and out trying to be abrasive. I mean, he stands for what he knows is right, but he isn't rebellious or he isn't loud about it. However, after the incident, you realize that he sort of grows like an almost cynical shell. Enima is a young girl who is almost like a daddy's girl. But after her incident with her father, she's also sort of been forced to grow up. And then you have Che, a young boy who's basically like a fledgling in this world. He has absolutely no idea how the world works. And then he is faced with, wow, this is what the world really is like. Like, no one really cares about me, sort of thing. So you begin to realize that almost everybody has a sort of way to connect with each of the characters because we know there are lots of people. I, for example, identify a lot with Aya in the sense that you sort of want everything to be okay. You don't really want to fight with the world, but then you realize that the entire world has to fight you, and you have to sort of fight back, or else you will die or you will drown. So that's why I say like the characters by themselves are a little diverse or diverse on their own, and everybody will sort of.
Right. I actually particularly liked what you did with Okwanyi. The did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, yeah, you did. Go
Is
ahead. I
that a
mean,
Ghanaian name? Is
Yeah,
that a
but
Ghanaian name?
uh, okay, Kobe. Now I think you should explain this too. He's the one who came up with the names, so he's asking you whether it's a Ghanaian name.
oh, it is. Opini just basically means elder. And
Yeah.
another reason why we also tended to use that was in the Ghanaian. I'm pretty sure it's the same in almost every culture, but let me just speak on Ghanaian culture. When you
Mm-hmm.
use the word opini, it goes automatically with respect. And we have this thing that an elder is never wrong. So sort of using the name opini in addition to this evil man, it sort of puts you, the reader, in a place of are elders really right? Are they okay? Is it okay? Is it okay no matter what an elder does that he's right? Because it's very clear from the writing that Opini is a very sadistic, evil SOB. He is not a nice person at all. So that also sort of puts the reader in like it also sort of challenges like stereotypes, if you will. Like are elders always correct in whatever they do?
Okay, that's nice. But funny enough, the name looks so Yoruba. Um, I'm I'm Yoruba myself, so when I saw the name, I was like, okay, is this? I wasn't sure, but okay, that's interesting. So, Setor, I'd like to hear from you. How did this team come about? Um, how did you guys know each other before? And your managing editor, Mr. John Schleider, um, how did he get involved with all this? Because I found it very interesting that he, as an American, was basically the producer, or he's the one like kind of funding this. And so I've spoken with him, but he said you guys are the brains behind it. So I was wondering, how did this team come about?
Right. So to your question, how did I meet John Shadler? In this world of like social media, it was just one of those very random messages on Messenger. I just got a message from this guy saying he had been following my work for a while. I used to put up stuff. I still do, but not as regularly. I used to put up stuff on Facebook, my work on Facebook. And he contacted me out of the blue, said he had been following my work for a while and had this project that he had in mind and was wondering if I had the time to work on it and if I knew anyone who could help with the writing, since basically when he came to me, I didn't even know he didn't even have a title for it. he just came with a basic idea that there was this issue that was happening in Ghana where children were being trafficked and forced to work in the inland fishing industry. And he was coming through the NGO called Challenging Heights at the time because he was a sponsor or a donor to Challenging Heights. And he thought about this, but he also liked comics. He really liked the idea of visual storytelling. So he wanted to use the medium of visual storytelling. Exactly. So he wanted to use the medium of visual storytelling to address this social issue. So yeah, he came really with an almost blank canvas. He just said, look, I have this idea. Yeah, I know it will have to be made somehow. So can you find a writer that can write something around this topic? And are you willing to illustrate it? I said, yeah, sure. And even though technically this is my first full project with Kobe, I think I've always known Kobe since my days of doing storyboard work with advertising agencies, and we kind of kept bumping into each other. So
Oh, right, I know that kind of
I
thing. So
do,
maybe you guys, because you're in the same industry, you run
right.
into each other at conventions, at
Well, actually, more like I ran into him at his office. I think that was what was happening more, right?
There was a lot of scripts that we sort of worked on. Yeah, if I remember.
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
so he had
you were or are into advertising.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
among other things, yeah, among
I mean,
other things.
it's going to be a long conversation if you start asking me what
So
I'm.
so we did get into conversations, and I think I don't know whether I told him, but in the back of my mind, I'd always been thinking that, I mean, because I kind of got a sense of his writing style, and I thought that it would make for a very good like partner on a project. So
Too
I,
kind.
I don't I don't I don't know whether I actually ever told him that, okay, in my mind I'm thinking we could probably work on a project. But when this came, he was really the first person I kind of just reached out to, and I said, yo, there's this project and it's pretty much for us. So yeah, if you have the time and you think it's something that you want to do, you should join. So that's pretty much how the team came together. It was a very organic um, way. It wasn't forced or anything. John reached out to me, I reached out to Kobe, and the next thing we knew, Lake of Tears was made. I wish it was that simple, but yeah, basically that's how it happened.
Okay. So how long did it take you guys to create it? I mean,
Oh,
from the writing to the art and everything.
Seto, you'll have to help me out with this one.
yeah, no. Actually, I'm thinking myself. I think the whole thing took like a year and then some months
Fair enough.
because we were just
I'll defer to you entirely on that.
yeah, because like we started talking, and yeah, we talked a lot, and Kobe sent in the first draft, and really the first draft and the final one didn't look that much different, if you ask me. No, which is to go to show that he knows what he's doing, because if the first draft and the final one doesn't look that different, that means he got it right on the first try, exactly. So, but I think we just went through a lot of back and forth trying to figure out how to shift events and stuff. Yeah, and then after that, I had to get into thumbnailing, sketching out each panel of each page, and then sending it back to both of them to see whether the visuals correspond with the story before going off finally to do the final illustration of each panel of each page. So yeah, it did take quite a while, but yeah, I think all in all, it was a good project. Yeah.
Right. And Lake of Tears is one of those stories that for the most part it seems like pure drama, normal, like no superpowers or nothing. And then towards the end, you're like, oh, okay, so there are powers.
Yeah.
It's a comic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if I just spoiled that for someone. Maybe I should take that out of the interview.
Don't worry. Yeah,
Let them read it.
actually,
Let
it's
them
a
read
good.
it and be surprised when they see powers.
No, it's actually it's I think it will actually be a good teaser. I think you should leave it there, because I think a number of people also, and this is to Kobe's credit. He was the one who came up with the idea of not going so hard on the fantasy bit too early. He wanted to kind of delay it and like just let the story play out, and then kind of introduce, but then leave little bits of mystery, just enough mystery along the way to kind of keep the person wondering, all right, so what's going on here? And then at the end, you kind of see this very interesting, wonderful combination. Yeah.
So for those of you that are wondering, yes, we did print standalone Lake of Tears books, which we sell in Nigeria. But Lake of Tears will be in the Kugali Anthology coming out November 18th. So you guys can you get the anthology, you get Lake of Tears and some other comics in one single book. And that one we're selling that worldwide. So it was unreal for me because I'm like, okay, I'm in Lagos. This guy walks up to my booth and is like, oh, he came from Ghana and he knows the artist that drew the comic that I'm selling at my booth, even though I only found out about the comic a few weeks earlier. I'm like, oh, wow, small world. that was interesting.
Indeed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're rounding up now. I would say I spoke with John. I kind of asked him like why he was interested in this project, and this was very interesting to me. So the story you guys are telling, which is based on a real life issue, the boys being forced to walk on in the fishing, you say inland fishing, right?
Yes.
Lake Volta. One of those boys in real life managed to escape from that situation
Yeah.
and ended up like becoming someone in life, made something for himself, and is helping as many people as he can to
Yeah.
get out of that situation. But he wants to stay out of the public eye. So I'm not dropping any names. However, he happens to be a friend of John, and John thought this story has to be told. This guy's story has to be told. But since the guy wants to stay out of the public eye and we can't do like an autobiography called Lake of Tears. So you guys are doing the fiction Lake of Tears. And I'll tell you one thing, that name really grabs people because at my booth at Comic Con, it was like when people are going through the comics, they look at Lake of Tears and the name alone, they're like, whoa, what is this about? It looks like, you know, those Nollywood films. Once you hear the name Lake of Tears, you're like, ooh.
I see. I actually hadn't thought about that.
But yeah, great work, guys. I like the comic, I like the story,
Right.
and it's really nice that it's actually highlighting a real life issue that I was completely oblivious to until I read this comic. So the fact that the comic itself is good, the quality is good by itself. It's not just hey, this is the issue, let's face this issue. It's like, hey guys, great story. And by the way, this is based on a real life issue. So people enjoy the story first and then they are drawn towards the problem. I think that's a really good.
And that's all to Covey's credit. The writing of the story was like really, really. I remember reading the first draft of it and thinking to myself, "Oh wow, I wouldn't have thought about this."
Accept your accolades, Seto. Accept your accolades. You know,
No, Setor, did you do
No.
all the
I'm not
coloring
saying.
too? You did
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah,
to
that's a.
be very fair, Tolu, so part of the reason why the story had to keep going back and forth was also because after, you know, when you write a story, after you're done writing a story, it's just a story, but when it's sort of like a visual novel, you have to do it in tandem with the illustrator or the artist. And some of Seto's illustrations were so expressive. You basically have to scale back some of the things you said because there's such a thing as saying too much. So for me, saying that this thing is actually all on Seto. Seto, accept your accolades. You're an
No,
amazing
I'm not denying my accolade. I'm just saying.
Okay. So any final words? What would you guys like to say to the people watching this video?
Um,
Seto, you go first.
Your fans.
yeah, I knew you'd probably say that. So
Yes, your turn.
anyway, all right. I would say thank you very much for if you've already got Lake of Tears, thank you for picking it up. If you haven't, you should because I don't want to guilt trip you into saying, oh, it supports a cause and all of that. But I mean, the story itself, I think, is solid enough, like you said, Tolu, to keep you interested, even if, God forbid, you are not. You should pick it up because it is a good read, and you will definitely enjoy the story. You enjoy the visuals, but you will also enjoy the story. You kind of grow attached to the characters. And I suspect you would actually, by the end of it, be asking us when the continuation is. So you should grab it. Do yourself a favor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kobe, do you plan on continuing this story? Because I know you wrote it in such a way, like if it ends where it ended, it's actually a complete tale in itself. But if you want to continue it, you ended it in a way that you could continue it. So have you already started planning like a follow-up? Not yet. Too early to tell. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys. So this. Oh boy. So Kobe and Setor, writer and artist behind Lake of Tears. Watch out for it in the Kugali Anthology. And thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Tolu.
too.
A pleasure.
We're live at the Ake Festival with Kugali. Hello, Tolu. Say hello.
Hey. Look what we got here.
We have a physical copy of Lake of Tears. Courtesy Kugali. Grab your copy now.
Nice ones.